Hi everyone! So today I thought I'd just share with you my little backstory of how I got into photography in the first place. So for me, it wasn't something that I looked at and thought, this is it, I'm going to be a photographer. I never ever thought that. Throughout my life, we had always had a fantastic array of cameras. My parents lived in lots of different countries, and so we were always documenting our travels and our experiences to share with the rest of our family. When I was about 16, we had a lot of digital cameras and the small compact, some of the small original digital cameras. What happened was, when I was in my teens, I discovered this bad boy. Just a normal, typical SLR that I'm sure your parents and lots of other people have had. So with this also came an array of lenses. It's 2.8 and it's 28mm. I started photographing with this and sending my spool of images to Boots to have developed and things, and thoroughly loved it. I then went to university and got involved with the photography society there, the Birmingham Photo Soc. So there they also had a darkroom, and I experimented with actually developing my own images rather than just sending them to Boots or like online places like that to have developed. And from there you really understood how fragile film is and how beautiful film is, because it's so easy to lose during the processing. I really genuinely fell in love with capturing moments rather than like endless clicking. Then I got this bad boy, which is a Polaroid camera, and it's a bit gimmicky. It's difficult to create images with Polaroid camera because it's as you see life, so there's no manipulation, which I absolutely love. I also found using Polaroid, because it's so expensive to get hold of Polaroid film, that you really do think about your image and you think about what story you want to portray through the capture as the spludges out on you. I had a background from school in website development, which I then applied outside and thoroughly enjoyed. With that also came digital image manipulation and improvement, where I started using fireworks. I started playing around with Flash Macromedia MX, and that was like my first introduction to real manipulation and layers and things like that. I then progressed on to GIMP, and that took a lot of time to get my head around because of its simple interface, but when I did, it was really so much fun to create levitation images and just start playing around like that. I then got sidetracked with digital photography, and my first digital camera was a hand-me-down 350D, Canon EOS 350D, which was completely basic. With the 350D, the image quality was quite low because of the lens. So what I did was I got onto eBay and I found a converter so that I could use all of the lenses, the manual lenses that came with the original Minolta, and I could convert it and actually mount it onto the Canon camera. So you just get a converter and interchange lenses like that. So that opened up a whole lot of opportunities and allowed for me to really force myself into the manual DSLR use. So while that was happening, I kind of forgot about film until I got my late grandfather's Conta Flex camera, which again is just 35mm film, really basic to use, but it had this beautiful vintage looking 30mm f2.8 lens, which I absolutely adored. Then I started falling back in love with the use of film. So while I was developing my enthusiasm and passion for image capture, there was a lot going on outside of the camera. So I had graduated into the recession, which kind of sucked because there were no jobs available. I did a lot of unpaid internships, which reduced that experience gap that a lot of my peers have had. So what I did was I started offering my services actually as a photographer in exchange for things. So haircuts, cupcakes, did a lot of that, just small local businesses. Then what happened was I started getting referrals from these small local businesses, and it just ballooned. And being able to have to say yes to clients was a phenomenal experience because I got to do so much work. I've graduated onto full frame cameras, so 5D. I use my 1D a lot, which I love. Get to grips with editing software and understand how to be truthful in your manipulations. If you have to manipulate an image, maintain a bit of truth in it, maintain the message. Polaroid, if you can get your hands on one, go get one. They are so much fun to use. My best advice to you is get out there and go to a second-hand shop or have a look on eBay for a film camera. Develop it from there. If you don't enjoy it at the end of the day, it might not be your thing. And that's it. That's my journey so far. And I'm sure there are going to be so many more exciting opportunities ahead. If you ever have any questions, just give me a shout. Bye! Lots of love!